Hey everybody, welcome back around to the Blog and Grill here. I'm your host Doug with your video blog for July 19th, 2013. I got NFL two-days for you, Dolphins and Saints, along with your NL Midseason Award winners. A Yankee injury update as well, but first let's get right to it. The Open Championship at Muirfield going on this weekend in Scotland. Let's have a quick look at the leaderboard. Miguel Jimenez on top at -3. This leaderboard right now is just jam-packed, and really anybody in the top 34, I would say, has to be in this. Just 7 shots off the lead as our 34th place competitors. Tiger Woods is at -2. Angel Cabrera, who played well at the Masters, he's at -1. Jordan Spieth, the Phenom from Texas, is at +1. And Phil Mickelson finishes off his day +1 after he double bogeyed 15. That was a big turning point in this one. And the players that missed the cut was at +8. Big name players that missed the cut: Jim Furyk, Luke Donald, Justin Rose, Rory McIlroy, Louis Oosthuizen withdrew yesterday. So a lot of big name players not even getting to the weekend. But this has been a great tournament thus far. I'll be getting up at 7 o'clock for sure tomorrow morning to watch the third round of this. Course conditions, though, are absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe how fast the fairways are, how fast the greens are, how silly some of these professionals are looking. But I think it's going to be a great rest of the tournament. And I think the key is going to be somebody coming out early tomorrow, putting up a 70 or a 69, getting 2 shots under. And really, I think the winning score in this tournament is going to be right around where it is right now, right around -3. I don't see a lot of people shooting lower. The course conditions are getting gradually more difficult as the week goes on. So I think it's going to be really tough for these players to get it going. And my winner, I think, is going to be Ian Poulter, who's at +1 right now, just 4 shots off the lead. He shot a +1 yesterday. He shot even par today. So he's in really good shape. And the big mover today was Lee Westwood, who shot -3. He's now in second place with Tiger Woods. So that's my thoughts on the Open Championship. Definitely a tournament you want to check out in the next couple of days. All right, we're continuing our NFL two-a-days as we get ready for training camp, which opens for a lot of people tomorrow. And today we're going to start off. Our first two-a-day is the Miami Dolphins, who last season finished 6-10, and really they struggled in passing the ball, 26th in passing yards, 27th in passing yards allowed. So their secondary is bad. They don't throw the ball well. And really, it's not that they don't throw the ball well. Ryan Tannehill, good young rookie quarterback. They really tried to focus more on running the ball, and they really didn't have a lot of wide receiver talent for Tannehill to throw to. Their draft, I'm giving them a C+. They brought in a lot of line players, which was kind of surprising on both sides of the ball. No real secondary players or playmakers for them. The one player I did like that they drafted was Mike Gillislee out of Florida. He's a small running back, a lot like Darren Sproles. He could boost this offense for sure right in his first year, especially with the departure of Reggie Bush. Key additions to this team have to be bringing in veteran receivers, Dustin Keller at tight end and Mike Wallace at wide receiver. Also, they re-signed Brian Hartline, and they tried to get something going in their secondary. They brought in Will Davis and Brent Grimes as 2 cornerbacks. But really, the key departures, I think, could hurt this team chemistry-wise, because we saw Carlos Dansby get released. We saw Reggie Bush get traded to Detroit. So those are 2 really big players that they lost. And really, I think the big question for the Dolphins has to be, did they add enough to their secondary? Are Davis and Grimes going to be enough to do something in that secondary for this team? And I don't think they're going to be a whole lot better. But I do have them improving one game. I think they'll finish at 7-9 this year. All right, coming up in just a little bit, I'll do the Saints two-a-day. But now let's get to our National League Midseason Award winners. First, our MVP in the National League. And I think all the National League award races are just wide open right now. But my MVP has to be Paul Goldschmidt, the 25-year-old first baseman of the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's batting .313, 21 home runs, leading the NL in RBIs with 77, and he has a high on-base percentage of .395. I really like what Paul Goldschmidt is doing for that ball club. All right, my Cy Young Award, once again, another wide open thing. Could have went Kershaw Could have went Wainwright. I went Matt Harvey. 7-2, 2.35. Hardly any run support. Pitching for a losing team. But he has 147 strikeouts, which leads the National League. And a .92 whip, which is second to Kershaw. So Matt Harvey really getting it done in his first year, showing that he is a power pitcher to be reckoned with. And my Rookie of the Year thus far has to be Yasiel Puig, 391 average, 8 homers, 19 RBIs. Just an absolute thrill to watch this guy play baseball. Comeback Player of the Year is a little tough. I went with Troy Tulowitzki, coming off a big hamstring injury last year. This year he's already batting .332, 16 home runs, 52 RBIs. So those are my NL midseason award winners for you thus far. Second half of the Major League Baseball season gets underway tonight. All right, we continue our NFL two-a-days now with the New Orleans Saints, who last year finished 7-9 in really a worst-case scenario year. Their football coach suspended because of the bounty gate. They really only passed the ball well. They didn't run the ball well. Their defense was the worst in football, allowing the most passing yards and the second most rushing yards per game. So really, in their draft, really they could have just went out and got pretty much anybody, but I'm giving them a B+ on their draft. They got help everywhere that they needed. They bring in Kenny Vaccaro, a good safety out of Texas. They also make some big moves for some underrated offensive tackle and defensive tackle players. And their 4th-round pick of Kenny Stills, the wide receiver out of Oklahoma, an absolute steal in my mind. I think Stills was probably a high 2nd-round pick for them. Key additions for this team have to be bringing back Coach Sean Payton. They also brought in tight end Ben Watson to give them a slot receiver position for them. Also, they bring in offensive tackle Jason Smith, a veteran, and safety Jim Leonard with their new defensive coordinator Rob Ryan, who will really be able to mix some stuff up for them for sure. Probably the main departure has to be the trade of Chris Ivory to the Jets. The Jets need him. They got back some picks for next year, so we'll have to see what they do with those. And Scott Vujita, who retired after his link with Bountygate, along with releasing cornerback Johnny Patrick, who is really starting to come into his own. The big question has to be, can Sean Payton lead this team back to relevancy? And my answer is yes. I think they have a very winnable schedule. The middle part of their schedule is the toughest. Weeks 10 through 13, they go home Dallas, home San Francisco, and then they go on the road, take on Atlanta and Seattle, both on night games. So that's a tough stretch for them. All in all, I think they get out of the season at 11-5 and get into the playoffs for another deep playoff run for sure. All right, quick Yankee injury update. Derek Jeter has been sent to the DL. It's retroactive to last Friday, so he'll be on until next Saturday. He could come off the DL. They bring up Brent Lillibridge, who they signed from the White Sox. Jeter goes to the DL with a grade 1 quad strain. Eduardo Nunez will take a spot at short. Alex Rodriguez will be back Monday. He's supposed to be with the team in Texas on Monday. He will be at AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre this weekend. And Curtis Granderson set to return in late July for the Bronx Bombers, and they really need the help for sure. All right, so Monday I'll be back. Thumbs up, thumbs down for the weekend. We continue our NFL two-a-days with the mess in New England, the New England Patriots, and we'll look at Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers as well. Always remember, follow me on Twitter at YankeeBaller415. Check me out on jbsmooth84.com. I have a new article up on JB Smooth about Johnny Football, as well as the podcast from last week where we talked about Summer League, the MLB All-Star Game, and a lot more fun stuff. Also, I'm trying to get James Bridges to come on here next Friday. Could be his first Friday on here with me, so I'm hoping to get him on here. Should be a lot of fun. Always remember, comment, question, subscribe to my page. Thanks for tuning in to the Blog and Grill. I'll be back on Monday. Have a great weekend, and stay cool.